Noon starts right now.
And we start with an update this noon on a double murder investigation in Atascosa County. One man allegedly connected to both murders Monday in Jourdanton and Pleasanton has been arrested and booked on 2 murder charges.
Jourdanton police identifying 21-year-old Samuel Ponce as the suspect in these deadly shootings. This is our mugshot, our first look at that suspect. Meantime, Courtney Friedman's been following the story.
And she now has an update from police headquarters. Courtney, what's the latest?
Well, less than an hour ago, police and investigators told me here in this room that they believe that these murders were drug related. And I was here 2 days ago just gathering information on both of these murders, the first of which was here in Jourdanton on Monday around 2 a.m. on Elm Street. Police say they found 23-year-old Jorge Arosa, who had been shot. After the press conference, we were given this screenshot from surveillance video taken at the scene. It's pretty shocking. It shows the alleged shooter, Samuel Ponce, standing over Arosa right before the shooting. The second scene at the shooting was a half hour later, less than 6 miles away on Mansfield Street in Pleasanton. 18-year-old Ross Cruz Jr. was found with multiple gunshot wounds. Investigators from both police departments told us today that video evidence and a firearm led them to believe that both murders were committed by the same person, who they believe is Samuel Ponce.
Our officers were able to do a traffic stop on him, and he was arrested for drug charges and weapons charges that he had on him.
After that traffic stop, Pleasanton police did find cocaine and a firearm in the vehicle. He was taken to jail, where he was soon charged with 2 counts of murder. Now, Ponce's bond is set at $1 million per murder charge, which adds up to $2 million. And as we said before, investigators believe that this is drug-related as the motive, but they are not 100% confirming that, so they still need a lot of investigating. For now, we're live from Jourdanton. Courtney Friedman, KSAT12 News.
Thank you, Courtney. New at noon, a downtown highway exit that's been shut down for months now due to a fire will not open up anytime soon. The Brooklyn Avenue exit on southbound Interstate 35 near downtown was badly damaged.
In fact, it's been determined to be so damaged it will have to remain closed through the end of the year. Laura Lopez, a spokesperson for TxDOT San Antonio District, said the ramp will be closed until the assessment and evaluation finished. She says the damage is extensive and the process of getting it fixed will take some time.
Overnight, the ongoing work at that exit causing even more trouble for drivers, though. Several nearby ramps had to be closed for hours while crews brought in a concrete barrier. Those areas have since reopened. If you remember, that Brooklyn Avenue exit first closed back in June after a fire started in the water drainage area underneath I-35. Let's take a look outside with live cam. Everything is still brown, but just about everybody got a little rain yesterday, Justin.
I truly feel like there was a collective cheer across San Antonio yesterday, and really a large portion of South Texas as that rain came in. It was sight for sore eyes. So good to see. We've got a few more showers out there today. Nothing like yesterday. It's going to be spotty at best, but we're noticing some showers there west of San Antonio. And a few showers down there around Divine, Pearsall. We've had a few very brief sprinkly showers work their way through San Antonio. But again, I think in general, you're not going to see a whole lot today. Things will remain pretty quiet going into the afternoon. I will zoom in a little bit closer in that one shower that's working through Divine right now. In Natalia, you're seeing a little bit of rain. These will pass through in about 5 to 10 minutes. And then we're just going to be left with the sticky conditions that we feel outside. Very humid today, courtesy of that rain yesterday. Here's a look at the weather where you live. 87 in San Antonio, but look at the heat index. 97. New Braunfels, 89. Feels like 100. Just so very humid. It's allowing that heat index to jump up 10 degrees above the air temperature. And we'll see heat indices jump well into the 100s today. So while we may see temperatures stay just below that threshold, know that it will feel much hotter than that. We do need to pass along, too, in the pollen count that molds went into the very high category today, 16,500. One of the few negatives to yesterday's rainfall. And here's a look at your forecast for today. 96 at 3 o'clock. We'll be up around 98. Feels like number around that time will be close to 105, 106. It'll take until 9 p.m. for us to get down to about 90 or so. And then 87 at 11 p.m. We've got a lot more heat on the way, yes, but some rain chances, too, to talk about. We'll have more on that in just a bit, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Now, while it could be a while before 4 cars that were parked in front of a downtown street get back on the road, San Antonio police have arrested a driver who caused an overnight crash, damaged all those cars. Katrina Weber reports no one was hurt, but the car owners are feeling a different kind of pain.
The scene itself signaled the worst, a rollover in the middle of a blocked-off street. Witnesses, though, say the driver of this SUV walked away, or more accurately tried to run, after this crash on Jones Avenue near North St. Mary's after 3 this morning. San Antonio police caught the 25-year-old and arrested him on suspicion of driving while intoxicated.
It's unfortunate, but people need to learn, drink responsibly.
Unfortunate is putting it mildly. Dre Newman is one of 4 drivers who could have to foot the bill for this. Police say the SUV driver also damaged their cars, which were parked on the street. They say he lost control while speeding, then slammed into the back of this compact car, triggering a chain reaction all down the street.
Domino effects.
Although he's able to laugh about it, Newman's car took a big hit. He can no longer close his trunk, which was loaded with memories from his days as a youth basketball coach.
This is hard work. I mean, it may be small to some, but it's big to me. It may be just a trophy, but it's hard work.
The other car owners are feeling the pain, too. The man who owns this car told me this was his only form of transportation, the only way he had to get to and from a job he just started this week. They're counting on insurance to get them back on the road, but also hoping the driver accused of causing the trouble doesn't get back behind the wheel anytime soon. Katrina Weber, KSAT12 News.
2 Comal County Sheriff supervisors given different levels of discipline after each failed to disclose that they had a sexual relationship with a subordinate deputy. Last month, KSAT reported that Sergeant Kelly Metz, pictured here at the unrelated sheriff's event, was fired this year after her relationship came to light. Records obtained by KSAT Investigate show Sergeant Brett Smith was demoted, but allowed to keep his job after admitting to similar improper conduct in 2018. A half dozen deputies told Internal Affairs that morale took a hit at the courthouse complex, with Smith getting romantically involved with Kathleen Reyna, a deputy he supervised.
You could feel it. You could feel the tension.
And coming up today at 6 o'clock, an employment attorney weighs in on what she calls a key difference between Smith and Metz discipline cases.
Northeast ISD accepting applications. It's to fill the seat in single-member District 2 following the death of trustee Terry Williams. The Board of Trustees will interview applicants at a future board meeting to be considered. You have to live in single-member District 2 now and for the last 6 months. You also cannot be convicted of a felony. You need to be registered to vote. If you're interested in the post, you have until Monday, August 28th at 5 p.m. to apply.
And happening today, Baptist Health System hosting a blood drive challenge to encourage everyone to donate.
We rely on donors. There's no other way to get blood.
Staff and employees within the Baptist Health System will be competing to see which of the 6 hospitals can donate the most. While staff rolls up their sleeves, they are encouraging you to do the same, especially since the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center says we are at a 2-day supply of blood for our area.
All blood types are needed at all times, for us to be able to maintain adequate supply for all the patients that come through the Baptist Health System.
The blood drive challenge is underway as we speak at all 6 Baptist hospital locations. Everyone encouraged to donate from now through Friday. If you are interested, you can do so by heading over to our website, KSAT.com.
The San Antonio River Authority wants to share how one of their projects has transformed the San Antonio River into a better ecosystem. Tiffany Huertas takes a look at the different benefits that the Mission Reach Ecosystem Restoration and Recreation Project is bringing to us.
Southside resident Sonia Jones says there's so much to love about this area.
Beautiful water, the scenery, a lot of birds.
Jones says walking here has improved her health.
To get my level of stress down since I got injured in my shoulder, so it helps.
But it didn't look like this a few years ago.
10 years ago, this was a flood control channel that was overseen by the Army Corps of Engineers. It was maintained very differently than it is today.
This project transformed 8 miles with trails, restored native habitats, and added amenities like shaded structures and benches.
Brought back a lot of the wildlife while still maintaining that priority of flood control.
Tonight, the San Antonio River Authority is inviting the community to learn more about the Mission Reach Ecosystem Restoration and Recreation Project.
A lot goes on behind the scenes to make sure these spaces are available for the public. So we've got folks that operate and maintain these to make sure the vegetation is cared for.
The River Authority is hosting an open house at Stinson Municipal Airport from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
We're going to go a little bit deeper into vegetation management. We're going to talk a little bit about the term stem density. We're also going to talk a little bit about prescribed burns, which is one of the things we do to help make sure the vegetation is healthy. And we're also going to highlight our recreational component.
Jones enjoys the natural sounds and finds peace here.
It's real peaceful. It's real nice in the morning.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT12 News.
And the UTSA Roadrunners have what you would call a seasoned quarterback. He will tell us how his preparations have evolved over the years. Coming up in sports.
Former President Donald Trump expected to surrender at the Fulton County Jail in Georgia tomorrow. He'll be facing charges of attempting to overturn the 2020 election results in that state.
ABC's Em Nguyen reports that a number of his 18 alleged co-conspirators, who are all charged with racketeering, have already turned themselves in.
Activity at the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta is picking up as several of former President Trump's 18 co-defendants have shown up to be arrested and processed. Trump is expected to surrender himself tomorrow. All of the accused facing racketeering charges over their alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. Like others who have already shown up at the jail, the ex-president is going to be fingerprinted, processed, and take a mugshot. He and the district attorney have agreed to a $200,000 bond. Today, his former lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, who's also charged with violating Georgia's RICO Act, expected to turn himself into authorities after finalizing his bond package.
I can take it. I fought battles much worse than this, against people much tougher than them.
Overnight, 2 other alleged co-conspirators were booked, former Georgia Republican Party Chair David Schaefer and Kathy Latham, a former Republican official in Coffee County, accused of allowing unauthorized access to voting machines. Tuesday, several others turning themselves in, including Trump lawyer John Eastman, who's accused of drafting a memo proposing the use of fake electors to help Trump illegally cling to power after losing to Joe Biden.
My legal team and I will vigorously contest every count of the indictment.
Eastman's bond was set at $100,000. Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, hoping to avoid arrest altogether, filing an emergency motion asking the judge to protect Mr. Meadows from arrest as he seeks to move the case to federal court. But court records show District Attorney Fonnie Willis told Meadows, "I am not granting any extensions." Allies for the former president are calling on supporters to gather outside the Fulton County Jail tomorrow, where Trump is expected to surrender in the evening. Amid an increase in threats, security has been ramped up in the area. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Outside with live cam, got to say yesterday, kind of concerned that that thing wasn't going to get far enough north.
Me too.
And then all of a sudden, on the way home, got home and like, wow, we could spread the wealth all over South Texas, it seemed like.
It was nice. It really was. It really was. We had some big numbers down to the south of San Antonio, but even here in town, some places got close to an inch. Is exactly what we needed. The aquifer jumped up a whole foot, 627.8, and it's still climbing. That we love to see. Meantime, as we showed you earlier, molds are in the very high category, 16,500. Do we have more rain chances on the way? We'll talk about it coming up.
National Dog Day coming this Saturday.
SA Live is ready for it. Now, this show has never
I know that dog.
Oh, wow. This show's never gone to the dogs. But
They match. They match. You couldn't tell where her hair ended and mine began, could you, in that shot? So.
Is that your dog, Mike?
Pardon me?
Is that your dog?
Nope. No, not my dog,
Are you
but she's-
sure?
Whose dog is that?
I would love to take her home. I think you can maybe take her
she's a
home
sweetie.
too. Maybe up for adoption. Yes.
Yes, up for adoption.
She's beautiful.
And so we want to know, please share your dog pictures. We'd love to see those precious pets, so scan that QR code on your screen and send those pictures in, and we might share them in the show.
Woof, woof.
Look how calm she is. She's
I know.
just like,
Sweet as can be.
Most
Mike,
animals
I think you
are
need
when
to
Mike
take her home.
Osterhage holds them. I've noticed that. They're very calm.
People know. Animals, yes.
she's like, look at her. Look at her. She's like, yeah,
Hi,
whatever.
sweetie.
All right, QR code, scan it. Wow. Go for it. I'm going to send in my little dog's picture, my dog Swiffer.
Your Swiffer?
Swiffer.
Does it clean the floor?
Well, he looks like a mop. So.
I would love to see
And he
the
does
picture of
clean up,
Swiffer.
like when I'm cooking and
Of course.
I accidentally drop a few things.
Food doesn't stay on the floor very long. I wish my dog Penny was as calm as.
I know.
what we saw there.
We'll have to have Mike hold Penny to
There we
see
go.
if
He is
that
the dog
calm is
whisperer.
going to happen.
He truly is. Oh man, what a beautiful day yesterday, as we talked about with the rainfall. It did get fairly widespread at a few points yesterday afternoon. I want to show you the rainfall totals, and I'll post these again if you missed them. We'll post them online. But 0.55 Pleasanton, 0.87 at San Antonio International, 0.89 Bandera. You look at Crystal City, one of the big winners yesterday, 5.58, over 5 inches of rain. Even Corpus Christi was closing in on 5 inches there. So really, really good numbers, especially south and west of San Antonio. Now, I know if you're watching from, say, Kendall County, Canyon Lake, you didn't get that much. I know that's where the drought is more extensive, but at least we did get some up there. Even Austin got a few showers yesterday. As we look a little closer here at Bexar County, Stinson and Kellyfield, numbers weren't huge, but there was some rain there. Seguin up over an inch. New Braunfels, some places around New Braunfels certainly did get close to an inch, but officially at the airport, it was 0.22. Chavano Park, 1.08. All of that to say, yes, what a beautiful sight it was yesterday afternoon to see some of those good tropical downpours come through our area. Authority radar right now, we are seeing some light showers here and there working their way towards the Divine area, up towards Lytle, moving up a little closer to Castroville. We've seen a couple of light showers work through San Antonio, but just not much, and I don't expect much throughout the rest of the afternoon. So 10% chance of rain. Keep the umbrella with you just in case, but I doubt you'll need it. And here's a look at the forecast. It does show some of these spotty showers throughout the rest of today. This is moving towards 2, 3 o'clock. Yeah, 1 or 2 popping up. There's still some moisture in the atmosphere, still some moisture to work with. And that's why I think with some of the heating, we can get a few of these showers going. This is around 5 o'clock, and most of that's anything we see is going to die down thereafter. So the forecast today, 96 at 3 o'clock, 98 at 4 p.m. That's our high temperature. But as I said earlier, the heat index is going to be much worse than that. 93 at 8 p.m., 90 at 9 p.m., down into the mid-80s by midnight. And let me show you the forecast heat index this afternoon. This is the feels like number at 5 o'clock, 106. 100 Fair Oaks Ranch. Should feel like 106 Canyon Lake, 105 in Forestville. So that humidity from the rain yesterday is going to make it feel just all that much hotter outside. Here's the weather where you live right now. 87 here in town, but it feels like 97. Heat index is already up to 100 in New Braunfels. Seguin, it feels like 97. So you can see the difference that thicker air makes. And as we look at the satellite picture, it's helping to create some clouds too. We've got partly cloudy conditions for most spots here around the area. 89 in New Braunfels, 94 Gonzales, 93 in Victoria. And generally upper 80s here in town, although Stinson reporting 92 at this hour. Dew point trend, well, there really isn't a trend with the dew point. It stays elevated all the way through the afternoon with dew points in the 70s. Very quickly, I want to show you what's going on across the Midwest. Our heat high that's been over us all summer shifted north, and you've got excessive heat warnings from Minneapolis all the way down to New Orleans today. Minneapolis, the heat index today up there could be 108, higher than it is here. That's pretty impressive, but we're going to see some pretty high heat indices here locally too. 112 is what it will feel like in Corpus Christi today, 106 in Houston. So our extended forecast, 101 tomorrow, 103 Friday, 103 Saturday, 103 Sunday. Some small chances of rain mixed in there. And then I think as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we can see a weak frontal boundary that could kick up our rain chances even more, which is great news, guys.
Yeah, like saying that.
Yeah.
Got to admit it.
Hey, the Aggies ready to start what couldn't be a make or break year for their head coach. We'll talk about that. And the Cowboys a little thin as they head into their final preseason game. Coach McCarthy talks about his plan for that final contest. Strange things have happened with college football, so how about this one? They are calling this week 0. 7 FBS games are on the schedule this Saturday. UTSA opens its season next weekend on the road at Houston. The Cougars, now a member of the Big 12. There are endless storylines surrounding the Roadrunners this coming season, but none bigger than quarterback Frank Harris about to begin his final go-around with UTSA. It's year 7 for Harris, thanks to the pandemic. So he told us how his preparations for the season have evolved over the years.
It's just a process for him. I mean, you know, he's got shoulder issues, knee issues he's dealt with his whole career. And so it's the physical part, and then for him, there's the psychological part of just being grateful every day. And he's a very spiritual kid as well. So those 3 components he's trying to balance every day. And how many reps does he need to get ready? Because he wants to take every one of them. And I'm like, Frank, you don't need to take every rep, man. You've been starting for 3 years now. So just that balance.
Yeah, that's a lot to overcome. He has faced over the years, makes all of the recognition he's getting ahead of this season just that much sweeter. Hey, Jimbo Fisher and the Texas A&M Aggies are less than 2 weeks from their kickoff of the season. They open against New Mexico, and Coach Fisher insists the quarterback competition is still alive between former 5-star recruit sophomore Connor Wegman and veteran southpaw Max Johnson. Both had memorable moments during last year's campaign. Fisher said he's very pleased with both guys. And the Texas Longhorns boast the highest ranking of any other Big 12 program in the preseason AP poll, and their final year in the conference, they're the favorites to win it. Longhorns are also 11 days away from kicking off their 2023 season. Head coach Steve Sarkisian is happy with the overall health of the team after 2 scrimmages and over 2 weeks of camp. This Saturday, the Longhorns are holding a mock game, and Sarkisian said by then he's generally going to know the team starters for the upcoming season.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
Now, you want to talk about a tough spot for a team. The Dallas Cowboys are in one right now. 2 of its promising rookies suffered season-ending injuries on Saturday against the Seattle Seahawks. So now Dallas has to decide if risking injury is worth finishing out its player evaluation process.
It's really, risk assessment. I mean, there's pros and cons of playing them. There's pros and cons of not playing them. There's pros and cons of practicing against another team. There's pros and cons of not. So, I mean, just understanding how it all fits together.
Yeah, Cowboys host Las Vegas Saturday night, AT&T Stadium for the final preseason game. Then it's time for final roster cuts. They got to get down from 90 to 53. Wow. So that's a lot of names. A lot of guys got to go.
I hate this time of the year.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. All right, some national chains say that crooks are hurting their bottom line, and that could affect your pocketbook in the long run. How a rise in thefts is leading to higher prices for customers.
And while a lot of students are hitting the books once again, they're still on one major district that hasn't kicked off the school year just yet. Not yet? Yeah, we're already learning about changes at Northside ISD specifically when it comes to security. Details coming up in just a few minutes.
New today at 5 o'clock, babies are expensive. That's not news to you if you're a parent. But consignment or hand-me-down baby products can cut costs. Don't forget, however, to check your used baby gear to make sure it's safe. And today at 5, after Entertainment Tonight, we do it for you. The San Antonio ISD School Board unanimously voting to file for exemption from a state law that requires an armed security officer on its campuses every day. The law goes into effect for every school in Texas on September 1st. Board members say a lack of funding and personnel is what's preventing them from staffing every campus with an armed officer. The district's police chief says his team of 58 officers is spread too thin and the force is short about 10 officers. However, that still wouldn't be enough for every campus.
From panic buttons to bullet-resistant lobbies, Northside ISD implementing several security changes this school year. Those changes also include bullet-resistant security lobbies and single point of entry at every elementary school. Plus, high school students must now have their IDs visible. We talked to NISD Police Chief Charles Carnes and got a look inside the Communications Center, a valuable tool for for social media threats.
We also have filters and scrubs, through our technology here at Northside, that we get alerts when certain things are mentioned. We take every threat serious, and we follow up on every lead.
Yeah, but they're not done yet. NISD also looking to install O2 sensors for vaping. Also, throughout the school year, we'll begin to number all of its exterior doors so officers can respond to emergencies faster. Northside ISD is the largest school district in the San Antonio area. It officially starts classes on Monday.
Take a look outside with live cam. Nice puffy clouds out there. So good to see them, even if they're only sprinkling here and there at this point. But I'm telling you, up in North San Antonio, we got over an inch of rain. It was so wonderful.
Yeah, there were several spots here around Bexar County that did get close to an inch with some of those tropical downpours yesterday. A couple of waves that came through, and it was fantastic. I want to show you a video from yesterday. I think this is what a lot of us saw, and I saw so many people outside in the middle of these rainstorms just because we haven't seen this in so long. It's something new and different, and it was great. Carrie sent this in, by the way. We appreciate that, to our KSAT Connect. You can check out those KSAT Connect photos on our website on KSAT.com. Meantime, on Authority Radar, we still are detecting a few light showers working through Medina County at this hour, Medina and Frio County. Nothing here around San Antonio other than a very light shower there on the far west side. But we are noticing there around Lytle, a little downpour. These are not going to last very long at all. You're talking about 5 minutes at best, and then they move right along. But Lacoste, Castroville, you can see some of this activity. Same story for Hondo here over the next 10 to 15 minutes. 94 at 2 o'clock. We're up around 98 today. The heat index close to 105, maybe even higher than that during the peak heating this afternoon, just because it's so very humid, and we'll keep in a 10% chance of a shower or two. It is another CPS Energy yellow day. They're asking that you conserve energy between 3 and 8 p.m. And we just got word that tomorrow will be a CPS Energy yellow day as well, as temperatures start to crank back up. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. A group of bipartisan lawmakers warning Meta it has risked public safety. Wall Street Journal reports lawmakers sent a letter to the company about recalled baby products being sold on its Facebook marketplace. In the letter, they point to products that have allegedly caused dozens of infant injuries and deaths. The lawmakers have accused Meta of not doing enough to prevent the sale of these items. The Consumer Product Safety Commission has also sent takedown letters. According to the Journal, Meta hasn't replied to the letters, but a company spokesman says that they take the issue seriously, and when they find listings that violate their rules, they will remove them.
Pardon me. Now to the fallout on those thefts across the country. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has more.
Dick's Sporting Goods blaming an increasingly serious theft problem at its stores for a 23% drop in its profits. The retailer joining a growing list of companies, including Target, Home Depot, TJ Maxx, and Ulta, recently sounding the alarm on organized retail crime.
It's extremely difficult to quantify the degree of the problem because not a lot of information is shared.
From this flash mob stealing nearly $100,000 worth of items at a California mall earlier this month, to big box retailers like Home Depot being hit especially hard and losing billions of dollars. According to the National Retail Federation, it's also becoming more costly, accounting for $94.5 billion in losses in 2021 alone, with retailers reporting a 26.5% increase in organized retail crime. The vast majority said the violence and aggression associated with it increased in the past year.
A lot of the stolen merchandise just ends up being resold on third-party marketplace online.
Retailers say this type of crime is reaching unprecedented levels, forcing the average family to pay an estimated $500 more each year on goods.
The federal government rolling out millions of dollars to tackle near collisions at America's airports. 8 airports will be getting $121 million to pay for construction projects. This on top of the $100 million that was granted to dozens of other airports 3 months ago. The Federal Aviation Administration says one project includes simplifying the layout of Boston's Logan International Airport. An FAA official says sometimes the best way to address safety risks is to just reconfigure existing airfields.
The race for the White House is already heating up, even though Election Day is more than a year away. Now, Republican candidates are set to hit the debate stage tonight without former President Donald Trump. What issues the candidates are expected to push tonight?